Hello everyone, how's everybody doing today? It's Coach K and we got a new camera. Hopefully you like it. It's a little bit clearer. You should see that we fixed the issues that we had over there on Monday. Wow, that was loud. We fixed all the issues we have there on Monday, so you should be able to hear and participate, and everything should be nice and beautiful and smooth. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to talk about how Justin Sun lied to us all and even his own staff member. I will go over that in a little bit. And we're also going to talk about John McAfee has been arrested apparently, as well as the Forex exchange shutting down, and one of my new favorite exchanges, FTX, and why they list and why I love them so much. And then, of course, all your guys' questions that you have in terms of A, what coins you would like me to go over, and B, where you think the market is going. So definitely partake in this. If you're not watching on YouTube, I highly suggest you do that. All you got to do is click on the link right in there if you're watching on Facebook, and join us over there and comment on the video as much as possible so that we know what's going on in your world. I'm glad that you like it, Tristan. The sound is very clear. It should be. We upgraded a little bit for all you guys to have that. So I want to go over what happened with Justin first, and then we'll jump into all the coins. So put your coins in that you would like me to talk about or anything like that, and we'll get there. Let's see who's here. Put upon Samir, Andre, Eric, Richard, Fami. What's up? How you doing? It's nice to see all of you guys over here, and Tristan, it's nice to see you over there on YouTube. Let's get started. So Justin Sun. Basically what I think happened, he's in control of most of the Tron, the Tron, tokens, and we think a lot of the bigger people in the industry think that potentially he, made up this stuff about Warren Buffett. He's still probably going to go to that lunch. So this is really interesting. And, this money laundering and stuff, this thing about China was all BS. I thought it was BS, and I messaged one of the managers at Tron, and I asked her, is this true that he's in China? Because last I checked, he was living in San Diego or San Francisco, and she said, no, for sure, he's actually there. Like, it's a mess. I'm trying to deal with it. I can't believe it. And I was like, oh, wow. So it is true. And so I was like, oh, it's not FUD. Then he goes online after crashing it and saying all this stuff about how he's got kidney stones, which sounded like such BS, honestly. That's why I originally thought that, and then I was told by one of the people there. And then they had this report from China, which was, I think, the old news. And then we go and we see this guy on live stream in San Francisco with the Golden Gate Bridge behind him. And you would think that maybe it's fake, but it's not, because he walked around the apartment first. So it made it very, very realistic that he is actually in San Francisco. And then I was told that he's in very good health, and then I was told by the manager that, oh, Justin never tells us anything and all that stuff. So he's a really rogue type of CEO and doesn't really tell people stuff, I guess, because of trust issues. And this is really interesting, and I think Justin's son played me, and he played a lot of you. Just something to take a note of. And then on top of this is really recent news that John McAfee was detained by the U.S. government. This is pretty big news. But at the same time, they also have the people that represent John McAfee have said that, like, if he doesn't get released, that they are going to release secret data all around the world that he has collected over time. This is going to be one of those popcorn situations for sure. The link's not working. All right, let me just double check that to make sure why it's not working. I'll copy that video URL and we'll get it done. Keyframe, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Is anyone having issues with the stream right now that's watching? It should be fine. But maybe there's some ingestion on the network. So we'll have to try and figure out why that's happening. I'll post that link again right there. It should work. Just click on the YouTube link part of it and it will pop up, I'm sure. Okay, so move on. After McAfee, I want to talk about Forex exchange. So this was a really big exchange. A lot of people, including myself, were very excited for. And then they shut down. Lack of funding, bleak future of XRP. So this stuff that was really big a year ago, yep, it's not that. It's just not there. So the link is not working on YouTube for some weird reason. If you guys go onto my YouTube channel and subscribe, that will never be a problem anymore. by going on YouTube and click on Athena Education, and that will definitely work. So Tristan's watching it right now live. He said there's no issues. But yeah, maybe there are some issues for some of you. I'm not too sure why. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll figure this out. You know, we'll try to figure out why that's actually happening. I'm not too sure, completely honest with you guys, why that would happen. But, you know, technology, right? It is what it is. Anyways, continuing on, we have FTX Exchange. This is a really funny one, okay? And I'll tell you why I find it really funny. FTX is, for some reason, not showing properly in here. So let me just get that on there nicely. Okay, there we go. So FTX is an exchange that's going to definitely be putting some pressure on, it's going to be putting pressure on BitMEX. And they do really cool stuff. This is literally their shitcoin index. Literally, it's called a shitcoin index. So you can actually go on their platform and trade shitcoins. So basically from 50 to 200, all the coins there, and you can trade them in the shitcoin index, whether you want it to go long or short, bull or bear, you can actually trade them in here. So if you guys want to check out this really cool exchange, they make it really easy for you to get started. They have futures, they have tokens, they have the bull bear tokens are really cool. So instead of buying like a bunch of different tokens, you can buy this token, which has a hedge of a bunch of tokens, and they manage the risk for you. It's really, really cool. Take a check out of this. The link is in the description of the video. Definitely check it out. I think it's super cool. And if you guys are watching right now, don't forget that you should comment in the video and make sure that when you do comment in the video, you're telling me what coins you want to be reviewed, and we'll definitely get onto that. So, moving on, back to what we want to get to is the obvious. We're wanting to look at what's happening in the market. And obviously that makes sense. So we're going to look at what's going on in the Bitcoin, with Bitcoin and other coins that you guys would like to know. I'm going to show you a couple things. Some of you know I drew this out a couple days ago, the head and shoulders. So let me just go on the 4 hour and show you that first. So it's really following that quite nicely, the head and shoulders that I drew a couple days ago. I said 2 days ago on the group. So if you guys go on the group on Telegram, go on to Athena Education, t.me Athena Education on Telegram, you'll be able to find this. And basically what I said a couple days ago, we were basically just completing this head and shoulders down here. I said, watch for this liquidity area. So if it goes into this red zone, it will probably pop back up, which is what it did. And then we had the steep fall down, back into liquidity again, and down further. So right now we're sticking at about 9,700, sitting there, and there's a lot of support around that area anyways. But that doesn't mean we're going to stay there. I do truly believe we're going towards 88, 8,500. Let me just shrink this down and show you why. Whoa, okay, hold on a sec. There we go. I'm going to show you why. Okay, so we have the Kijinsen. I'm going to turn off, hold on, the Tenkin here, just so, and the Chiku span, and I'm going to show you something that I noticed. And we're going to go on to BTC USD onto Bitfinex. Okay, so what I show here is, I've told you guys about this Kijinsen, right? I've been saying it a few times. Now, I want to show you something. Here, it didn't fill all the way to the bottom. It was about 7%. On this one, it was about 6-7%. It didn't exactly touch the Kijinsen. This one almost did. Well, everyone's like, whoa. So I'm going to give you a couple possible scenarios of things that could happen, just to give you an idea of what possibly could go on. Here we have the Kijinsen. It's at 6.3%. What I'm trying to get at here is this. It is very possible that could have been close to where that bottom was, right? It doesn't mean anything for sure, but it means it's close. So this is something also to keep note of when you're there. Now, I just want to get a couple other pieces of information out. First thing is this. Let's go to the 4 hour and shrink this bad boy down. Okay. So if we're looking over here, turn back on the indicator properly. What? Okay, here we go. We turn the Chiku and the Tenkin back on. What we see here is that 8800 range. I'm going to just get a double click and turn off the volume there so you can see it a little clearer. We can see that 8800 range and that 75 that people keep talking about. I don't believe we're going to get that low. And remember, on the weekly, we're trying to get down to this level, which is about 8500, 8600 for the Kijun. If we get that low, it coincides with a couple of things. One, the bottom of the cloud, and that 8800 right here, if we're using Fibonacci, also coincides with right there, the green line, the Tenkan-sen. So there's a couple reasons why I believe that we'll probably come somewhere in between this level at 8700, 8650, 8800. That's what we're looking for right now in terms of the Bitcoin prices. Now, is anyone out there watching that has any type of questions or concerns? So I think that YouTube for some reason is not working extremely well today. It just seems like some people are watching and having no problem, but others, there's no comments, which is odd. Anyways, I'll go and do some other coins right now, and if you guys want, definitely do comment and let me know what you're looking for. So we go over to Ethereum or EOS. Looks like it's had a little bit of a bottoming out over here. Let's look at it on the futures index. So here's something really interesting. Like I've shown you guys before, we are looking at an edge to edge on EOS. We have a TK cross down here. We had a bullish engulfing into the cloud, and when that happened, our Chiku span was positive. So here's the things that you should be looking for when you're doing this type of trade. Right here, our Chiku span is positive. It's above the candlesticks. That's a good thing. Right here, we had a bullish engulfing candle that went into the cloud, right? And if you want to even look at it from a bigger aspect, you can go down here and say, well, that bullish engulfing closed just in the cloud at the top. It tested the bottom of the cloud, and then it popped up. So I would have probably entered right around here. And what I'd be looking for now, guys, is this EOS trade to go to this edge right there, maybe even higher up to this level. It depends on how much the market will move, but it looks like a very good trade possibility if you get in there. Let's say, we don't know if it's closing, there's another hour, but let's say we got it on the bottom of that candle. We would put our stop loss at a couple areas. You could put it at the Tenkan-sen, you could put it at the bottom of the cloud, or you could put it at the Kijun-sen. So I could probably put it at the Kijun-sen, and let's see our risk to reward on that trade. That's not a good risk to reward. So if you're looking to kind of take a little bit more of a gamble, you may put it at the bottom of the cloud when it entered, and then look to get to the top of the cloud up here. We would see it as a 2.65R. And if we're looking just to get to the top of that cloud, 1.41, it's not a really good trade to get in. You might want to just use the Tenkan on this one. But EOS on this trade, if we're using margin, not a horrible trade if we're using, let's say, 5x. If we go up 6%, it's 30% profit for you in your bank. Can you suggest a book about the Ichimoku clouds? There's quite a few books. I'll definitely post some in there. The Ichimoku is something that when you read about it, it is super confusing. This is where the course is coming in. So I made a course and it's still being developed right now. But the whole idea for that course is to lead you through to understanding why you would put a stop where you would with the Ichimoku, why you use the Ichimoku, what is the benefits of it. And you'll actually understand it's basically a really great support and resistance using several indicators all at once. Some of them lagging behind and some of them thinking ahead in the future, as well as what's actually happening right now. There are some books on Ichimoku, probably 1,000 of them. I do have a library of them, so I'll try to find one of the ones that can be doing pretty cool. Let's look at some of the alts that I'm actually watching right now. EVX is one of them. So as we can see right here, we're approaching a TK cross. So if we had a nice cross of this green over the red, which would be a bullish TK cross, the Chiku span right now is above the candlesticks, even though I'd like to see it a little bit higher up in this range. And again, if we had a nice bullish engulfing candle in here, we'd have a nice edge-to-edge play there. And this one would probably be a lot nicer risk to reward. Let's say we close at even at that level and use the bottom of the cloud. We would have somewhere between 10 and 17% or so. And if we look at that, that's a 3R, which means A 3R trade, guys, if you do 3Rs a lot, if you do only one of every 4 trades, a 3R trade, you're going to always end up in profit. So you'd only need to be 25% of the time right, which is pretty cool to know. All right, so that's another good one to enter. Anyone have any questions? Shadow, I'll definitely get you some stuff. If you want, just follow me on Twitter or on Telegram and send me a message. The stuff's in the description of the YouTube video. Send me a message and I'll get you some resources to start with for sure. Over there on YouTube, anyone here? David, there we are. Can't get YouTube link, does not work. YouTube does not show any info on your live right now. Okay, that's really strange. Can you set the live to listed? It's unlisted right now. Oh, that's why. I get it. Okay. Let me just put this on public right here. And now can you guys on YouTube try it out? So just give it another swirl. Thanks, Serby, for noticing that. Whoa, that was really weird. Let's not use that. Oh, it worked anyways. Okay, so click on that link on YouTube and see if you guys can jump in over here. You are on Telegram, Shadow, so just throw me a message at any point. V is another one that I got in recently. It looked really nice. It had a nice Tenkan breakout over here. So it was a pretty strong breakout. Now, that's not really the reason why I got in. I'm using a pretty cool new algorithm, which gave me also some pretty green lights. So I went in on that trade. And we also were using our Kijun-sen as some support. It was bouncing. Usually it gets weaker, so it tries to move up. We also have to look at something else, guys. You always should be checking this out. Total market cap, is it going up or down? So it's not really doing that well. This is telling us that there's not that many new users in the market. And our Bitcoin dominance is starting to come down. We had a bearish TK crossover here, which is a good thing, which means alt season could potentially come. Now, if we do have this start to move into the bottom of that cloud, that would be very good for all the altcoins if we see that happen. So that's also something really good to know. Now you see me there. All right, David, it's good to see you over here. All right, and remember, guys, ask questions. Are there any coins or any cryptos that you want me to do TA on? Throw them in the box. I will happily do them for you. ADA, it still looks just horrible, but let's look a little closer. We do have a bullish TK cross here. It doesn't really look that strong. The Chiku span is a little bit off, but if I saw a nice push into this cloud here, it would be a potential nice gain of a trade right on that one. And we're looking on BitMEX, so that could be very nice. Binance coin, okay, did a very nice edge to edge over here. So we had a bullish TK cross. We had a bullish engulfing candle. The Chiku span was positive, I believe. Let me check. 30 periods back. It was just I may not have actually even got in on this one. I would have waited till we were here, so probably would have got in there and to complete it. Probably wouldn't have actually entered that trade, to be completely honest, but we did have a nice edge to edge. We do have a Kumo twist, which means we have a bright future. Good things are coming, and that's awesome. Hey, Joel, what's the hype about Quaint? Can I look at it? Quaint is a really cool project that has some pretty big, they have some big deals. I think it was like workholes or something. I can't remember off the top of my head because I never invested in them, but it's interesting. I got the Athena group, but not able to PM you. In the description, Shadow, there's my username for Telegram. So just go down there, scroll through. You guys can add me on Twitter, subscribe to the video, all that kind of stuff's all down there. So definitely look at that. And you can see it. So here's another interesting one. Bearish TK cross. We had an edge to edge on the bottom, so we had a bullish engulfing into the cloud right over here. I would have probably got in there. It wasn't a very good one to get in. But if we look on the daily, Quaint has done very well. I mean, we had a bullish TK cross. We crossed into the cloud right around there. You would have got in right there and out of the top of the cloud for 50% in 15 days. Quaint is just, they've had a lot of hype around them. And we have this nice V bottom there, which is also indicative of good news. Not good news, but it's indicative of movement back up, a reversal pattern. Questions for Enigma. Oh, Enigma is one of my favorite. So Quaint, I don't really know. I can't remember off the top of my head because there's just way too many shit coins. Not saying that it's a shit coin. There's just too many coins, period. Whoa. Okay, so that's, I did have a really amazing trade on Enigma. So let me just go in here. I'll show you that one. I broke this down before, and that was a really good edge-to-edge trade that happened in the past. Now let's look where we're at. So Enigma on the 4 hour, it's had a Tenkan breakout and a retest. So what I'd be looking for here is it for the breakout of the Kijun. So I have a Kijun breakout, and then we could see some really good moves here. With Kijun breakout here with their secret contracts platform coming, that could be a nice move if we break into this cloud. Use this as our let's say the bottom of the cloud somewhere around here. We would have a nice 2.5R trade if we can break in here. If we break in lower, even better. That would give us an even better trade entry if it takes a little bit longer and a higher risk to reward ratio. So that looks good. Let's check it on that 1 hour. I don't usually do shorter time frames, but I'm curious to see how it's looking. So it has a lot of really nice things if we're following the rules here. We have a bullish TK cross. We have the Tenkan-sen getting further away from the Kijun-sen, which is positive. We also have this Kumo twist, which is a bright future. This could actually continue moving up. It's on a nice move right here already of a few percent, 5% more. It could go much more, I think, and it's seeming to have some reversal movements and using the Tenkan now as support, so it's popping off that every time. What's TLDR? What's the TLDR? Let's check it out. Okay. Couple questions. Enigma AGI. AGI. SingularityNet. Yes. Okay. They look like we're having a bull flag formation on the 1 hour for sure. What about on the daily? So it had a really big, strong move. Was there any news that accompanied that? Because that was a beautiful entry right here. So we have our TK cross. We have the bullish engulfing candle into the cloud. I wouldn't have probably got in here. It looked not that strong there. But once you had that retest of the Kijun-sen and we broke above it and started to test the Tenkan, it would have been a good one to get in right here, even though it doesn't seem like a very big trade. Or another thing is we close above and retest the top of the cloud, which is a really good entry point. And then we have a breakout of like 60%, which was amazing. Now what we're having is support. We probably come back down to equilibrium at the Kijun-sen right here, which is this one. And so remember, the market always likes to pull back to equilibrium. It wants to be back where there's even amounts of buyers and sellers. This is what the Kijun-sen is. It's an equilibrium point. And we use it on a higher time frame. It's more accurate. So we go it on a 12-hour time frame. And it's also in the same spot. If we retest this, I think we would do a 12-hour into this cloud. Now, when you're using a 12-hour period, if we broke in and did into this cloud and had a bullish, and we had like a bullish engulfing candle. Now, right now you can't see it, but look at that risk to reward. You have a 2.5. So that's a really nice one. I would look out for this to turn into another potential trade. So we have this right here. I'm just drawing it really quick, so don't judge me. We have this triangle that's turning out. I'm just going to use the tops here. Okay. We have a bit of a bull flag for sure, and what usually will happen here is we'll come touch the bottom of that area right there, and then we will pop up over this way. Up and out, and go for the next leg. So look for that. I would say AGI, keep your eyes on. Plus, it has a bright future as well. It's Athena Education on Telegram. That's right. At Athena Project. It's at Athena. It's at Joel. It's at Coach K Crypto. At Coach K Crypto. My BitMEX balance just disappeared on the site. More reason to go to FTX. Yeah, are you using a tamper monkey? Maybe Tristan. It's possible. It happens to you if you use that to show you the US dollar value on BitMEX. So that could be why it is happening. Let me see. Okay, so no one else has any other questions. I'm pretty shocked. Let's look at when is Zcash reversal. Okay, Zcash, ZEC. Let me see a second here. Well, it's not yet. Let's look at it on a shorter time span. It's still not there. It's kind of on a sideways movement right now. It's in a box. Let me show you what that looks like with all the noise taken out. We take out all the noise and we just look at price action, and we can look at volume as well here. This is usually what you should always learn to trade with first before trying to use all these crazy indicators that don't actually usually help you that much. We're under like this nice box right here. So we're kind of ranging in this market right there on the hourly. On the 4 hour, similar, kind of ranging a bit. We're kind of like going up and down and up and down. It's trying to figure itself out. It hasn't had a full reversal yet. It looks like some volume is starting to pick up a little bit. As you can see, the volume starting to move up, but not really. So I wouldn't get into that trade until I saw something more from it for sure. Because right now it doesn't really show me anything to get into. It's got a bearish TK cross not that long ago as well in the 4 hours. So ZEC is not a entry yet at this point. I already have the group PM. Don't just go to at Coach K Crypto on there you go, at Coach K Crypto. You can find me over there on Telegram, and I'll try to get you some stuff. Okay, so I'll show you a couple other ones of mine. If you guys are watching and want to see any TA on any other of the other coins in the market, do let me know. Let's see if there's any ones. ARK had some big news and it pumped like crazy and then dumped. So that's kind of what we're expecting to happen here and there with big news. We know it's going to happen. So let's just go over to tomorrow. My list is what I call it. And see if there's anything moving. One is moving a little bit. Walton Chain I've had my eye on. It looks like it's got a 3, not a 3 in setup, but a bullish engulfing candle, which then now has tested the top of the Tenkin. It could be a good little move right there. It does look like a really nice strong movement on the shorter time frame, but we still have bearish TK cross. We want to wait for that to cross above it. We want to see the Tenkin cross above the Kijinsen, and then we might look at trading or entering that trade. So as you can see, I was showing people on a different chart before what a Kumo retest is. So just to give you some education here, a Kumo breakout, so we break out of the cloud, and then we have a retest, meaning that we touch the bottom of the cloud again before moving up higher. When we usually would put, so if you see this, right, and you're already above the cloud, you set because you can see the cloud always is in the distance, as you can see here. You would set it above at the top of the cloud. So my buy order, even though it's up here, would come down to that level. And when you buy there, it doesn't look like a lot, but it's a 40% trade in a very short amount of time. That's nice. It's real nice. Okay, APPC I've been in a couple times recently just for nice short gains, some short trades. And here's, wow, this is a really good opportunity right here, guys. And here's why. APPC might be, and I might just actually enter this trade right now while we're live because of one reason. We have a bullish engulfing candle into the cloud. We just had a TK cross. We have the Chiku span positive. It's a very nice setup here. And let's look at our risk to reward. Now, I have to always urge you to look back a little bit further to make sure there was no huge pumps, which there weren't. So this is very valid right now. And what we're going to do is look at our risk to reward on this trade. You get in right now, put your stop loss at the bottom of the Kijinsen, and set this at this level. Look at that beautiful trade. You have a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning if you put $100 to make if you put, really simply stated, if you had $100 in that trade and you were let's say you were trying to make $300 in this trade and you were willing to lose 100, basically it's hard to explain. Basically, when you use 3R for a trade, you can make a lot of mistakes in other trades and still be profitable. So look for these opportunities as much as possible. I very likely will go into this trade after this live feed. APPC, that's why I make a list, guys. I go through, cycle them, make sure I'm looking at what I'm looking at, get clear indication of why I'm looking at what I'm looking at. So here we see many tests of so why you use support and resistance is really simple. It tells you kind of what's happening. So we keep touching this. Either it breaks down or it pops up. So you watch those levels, and here it popped down. Here it broke out. Now, if we close above the Tenkinsen on that 1 hour, it's probably going to go above it, So watch this. If you don't believe me, watch it. It will, if it closes above, we'll go up a bit, and then we'll test it. We'll do that retest at the top of this. And then after that, you would buy on the retest, and then you'd go and try to look for that next move. This is very likely what happens. It doesn't usually always just go up. We usually retest. Wherever we go up, we come back down and test it one more time, and then continue on up. Let's see what Algo's doing here. When did I get into cryptocurrency, Jack? I've been first bought my Bitcoin in 2013 as a complete speculator. It was really crazy. Like my friends, I was a teacher at the time. They were like, yo, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. My friends in Canada had been mining it on their computers. I thought it was such a scam. It was stupid, like a game or something. And so I was like, you know what? I'll go in and put in like $500. It was worth about 2.5 or somewhere, like almost 2.5, just a little bit under 2.5 BTC. So we'll call it 2.5. And then like I just left it and it went to like almost zero. Like that was like, it was horrible. And so I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I only put a little bit in. And then I got really involved in the space in 2017, kind of to stop the scammers and try to educate people about the space. And, I got into trading a little bit, and then I got into it more involved in it because I also realized, like, a lot of people want to learn how to trade, but the traders don't usually teach you, right? Like, they're not going to spend the time. And the people that do teach you will promise you hopes and dreams. I just want to teach you how to do it and look for what you're supposed to look for. And so when you're here, when you guys come in, you feel confident after a while, like, okay, I actually know what I'm looking for. I feel confident, and then you can actually feel like you'll make better calls on your own. And this is the goal for me, is like make you a better trader for yourself so you feel good about what you're doing. And then you're confident and you boost your morale, and then really confident traders make more money. So that's really what it is. People will say TA doesn't work. I will show you time and time and time again that it does. It does work. This move right now that we're seeing on Bitcoin is something that I expected and told people were going to happen. And I told people, like, and I'm not saying I told you so. I've just told people it was going to happen because I saw it going to happen. And here's why. When you went to the weekly and you saw how many times it touched that Kijinsen, right? You knew that it was going to come back and try to get to that level again, right? Here's our Kijinsen. So we want to touch that level. It wants to come back, always the market, to that level. See? And when we break out, we retest. Look, on the weekly even, it works. And so, yes, TK Cross here, we can't use it right now. But the point is that our market always comes back to equilibrium. And what I'm teaching you guys does not just only work for crypto. What you're learning here will work for Forex, will work for stocks. It works for everything. It's really important. You bought your first mid-2017, made a YouTube channel, got to 10K subs, made a good amount in the bull run up. Oh, well, awesome, man. Jack, it's great to have you here, man. Hopefully you can join my YouTube channel, and then we can maybe collaborate on some videos and stuff, because I'm really big on the collaboration in the space. I think the good guys that have been around for a while and stayed around for a while, we all kind of know each other. So I'm sure there's many people, that are here right now, or that, will watch this in the future, and we'll see that it's really great. So this stuff that I do here is for you guys. I don't do it any other reason. And this week, because we had some technical difficulties, this is why I didn't come on Monday. But on Friday, guys, I will be here again for sure, as always. And so we can definitely get on with that. And so where you're looking to go next with Bitcoin is quite obvious. We're going towards the levels that I was showing you earlier. So we've tested this 9,700 range. We dropped below it now at 9,600. So I think we're going to finally get to that, either testing this level down here at 9,100, or we get to 8,800, 8,700. This is where I'm looking to get in. And that's why I drew all the way down to this level right here, which is our support. So this area of liquidity is now no longer an area, a pocket of liquidity. But where is a pocket of liquidity? Here's another really interesting area to watch for. In this area right here will be another pocket of liquidity, especially right around there. What that means is if we get into this box, it's very likely that we jump up a bit before we come back down. So watch for that level if you're looking to get in a shorter trade. Voyager, good fee. Nice. I know Crypto, Love, and Keith wearing pretty well. Awesome, Jack. I know Maddie, not dropping name bombs, guys, but I know, Maddie, Ian, a lot of the bigger influencers, Wolf Crypto. You know what? It's all about sticking together in this industry. That's what we should all be doing. And we all learn together, and we, ride together and die together. Bad boys for life, bad girls for life, whatever you want to call it. And you should be giving back to this community. The more you help people understand what this is all about, the more they realize it's not just like Lambos and moons. Because I'm not in this for Lambos and moons. I'm in this to do stuff that makes the world a better place. Because I'm a father and I have kids, and that's what I would like to see for the world. And that's more important to me than any other stuff. I told people at 13K we would pull back to 9K as it was getting a bit unhealthy. Yeah, it was. Look at anyone that looks at anyone that was looking at this run up and thought that makes a lot of sense. That let's just pull this back a bit. Okay, I expected 10K end of the year. That's actually what I expected. Are near the end of the year we'd have a pump, but around 10K. I told people that on March. So literally, no joke, no word of a lie. There's people who've been watching me. On March 16th, March 16th, I made a video right around here. And I said, is April going to be the bull run? And I said, absolutely. And look at what we've done since April. Now, that was April 2nd, that big pump. I had been saying that all the way from December. I was saying, yeah, we're going to go. We had this little pump. People got really excited. Then we dumped a little bit more. And then we were saying, oh, we're going to go less. When people started saying we're going to go under 33, under 32 again, I started saying 32, 31 was the bottom. And everyone was like, you're crazy, but this is what happens in a market, right? And that's good. We should always have people say you're crazy and all of that or crypto's dead. Because that's the best thing that ever happens, because it helps you realize and be humble that maybe it is dead, but probably it's not. And this is why I'm going to prove you wrong. And I love proving people wrong in the right way, especially when it comes to something I truly believe in. Any YouTubers to follow, learn Forex trading? I have started teaching crypto trading, but what I do for Ichimoku works on all markets. So if you guys don't believe me, let me show you. JPY USD. Check this out. A lot of people think that what people do in crypto doesn't work in other markets. But they're so wrong. It works all the same. Now, one thing is I have to use a different template. So give me a second. Because you have to use a different Ichimoku when you're using Forex, right? So Forex and crypto have different settings. So you have to input where's my other Ichimoku with the right settings? Hold on a second here. Hold on. It's the wrong one. Normal Ichi. There we go. All right, so normally Ichimoku is different settings than crypto. So there are 9, 26, 52, and 26. In crypto, it's 20, 30, 20, 60, 120, and 30. Just because it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So here we have Ichimoku Cloud, right? And there, if we're going to go, let's say, on a daily, because in Forex it's a little bit different. Here's our Kijinsen. So if I turn off all this other stuff to make it a little bit less noisy here, and we just look at the Kijinsen, we'll always see how it actually works in all markets. Here we have a bull run type setup. Look at what happens. It breaks out of the Kijinsen, and look, it comes back towards Kijinsen. It breaks out higher and comes back towards Kijinsen. It breaks out higher, comes back towards Kijinsen, comes back, and then look at this. Bitcoin did the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Watch this. BTC USD. Watch this. Just to give you guys some perspective on why TA actually works. This is really important. Bitcoin did the exact same thing last bull run. 1. Let me just zoom in here a little bit. So we had 1, 2. This is on the daily. Let's go to the weekly. I'll show you how history always repeats itself because it's really interesting. So, pulled away, pulled back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it dumped. It does it like clockwork. Can you type those settings into the chat for crypto? 20, 30, 20, 60, 120, and 30. All right. So if you go to Ichimoku right here, Travis, you just change this to 20, 30, 120, and 60. And you can pause the video for that. So that's regular Ichimoku. So if we go, and you'll see there's a difference between that and crypto Ichimoku. Right here, you can see that obviously it fits a little bit nicer. And that's because in crypto Ichimoku, we use different settings that match better. So as you see, it happened 5 times as well, and the 5th time it dropped right through. Okay, and how we change those settings, we click on this bad boy, 20, 60, 120, 30, and then just press OK. That's it. And if you want to turn things on and off, it's very easy to change your settings by clicking on the conversion line, which is the Tenkan-sen, or the lagging line, which is the Chiku span, and we can learn how to do that as well. Okay, a couple more questions, then I gotta go home because my wife and kids will be waiting for me. Which software do I use? So this is not software. This is just a website called tradingview.com. It's really nice and intricate. You have all your tools on the left. Most of the crypto exchanges and other exchanges are there. Now, MT4 works as well, so you can use that. I just prefer this because I trade mostly crypto at this point. But I will be doing more Forex and stuff just because why not, right? And this works for stocks too. So if we go to Amazon, you'll see the same thing over and over again, that this works in all markets. Every time we pull far away from the Kijun-sen, we pull back. Every time we pull far away, we pull back. Every time we pull far away, we pull back. It wants to get to that equilibrium state. And you can see that on both sides, actually. So when we go down, it tries to pull back to the Kijun-sen. Here was really bearish, so it didn't do that. But we're also using the wrong settings. So again, if I go to the right Ichimoku cloud, my more normal Ichi, you'll see it work perfectly. So here we go. On a bear market, pulls up 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it broke through. So usually it's like a 5-wave cycle. Here again, 1. So we had 1 pullback, 2 pullback, and Amazon wasn't around really yet, so we don't have that. But as you can see, that red line, of the Ichimoku, the Kijun-sen always pulls back, and it's really good to learn that. Meaningless announcements play more into crypto. Yeah, exactly. Can you type those settings into the chat? 20, 60, 120, 30. That's crypto. Events play more into Forex, though. They do, absolutely. But when someone says they're not going to go meet with Warren Buffett after all that hype, it's going to push it down. Any tips when using Fibonacci retracement? Good question. Let's go in here. Let's turn off all the Ichimoku stuff, and we'll just look at price action. And we'll go to the daily or 4-hour to make it a little bit easier. Whoa, where are we at? Oh my god, hold on a sec. Wow, okay. So when we're doing, we go left to right. So if we're looking here, we can see that we're going to go left to right, up to up, left to right. So you look for the swing low, the lowest point right there, to the highest point over here. And then you find your levels. So that 50% retrace is right here. What you'll notice really cool, on the daily. Oh man, it's too hard to see. Hold on. Okay. Why is it not showing that? Yes, okay, so here it is. So here's your 50% retrace, and look at where our Kijun-sen likes to sit, right around that 50%. So it's a natural 50% retrace. So if you use Fibonacci, you'll learn that if you use Ichimoku, it's quite easy to kind of use both together, and they're really nice. They work really intricately and beautifully together. Something to take note of for sure. Do you think the bull run is around the corner? You're through on back next. I think back was already played into it already, and I think if you read the reports today, OTC market is bigger in crypto than in any other market in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors that our normies don't actually see. This is something to take note of because it's important to know that normal people don't see what the institutions do, right? Keep in mind of all of that. OIN, okay, good. Some new. I actually was in an OIN trade, but for some reason the stop loss was way too tight. So yeah, OIN's good, man. It's definitely tested the Tenkan. It's probably going to complete that edge to edge over here, looking nice. Not too crazy bullish, but it's looking like it's going to complete an edge to edge here. And it's getting further away from the Kijun-sen, which is not a bad thing. It looks like a C-clamp's coming here, which could pull it further away or pull it back together. So we'll have to wait and see. But the Chiku span's bullish. We had a bullish engulfing into there. We've been testing the Tenkin. As long as we push above there, which we have on this candle, we likely will go at least another 8, 9, 10%. And if we do break out of this cloud up here, like let's say we get up to that level, don't buy on the breakout. Buy it on the retest of the top of the cloud. That's where, if you see the candlesticks above this cloud, you buy, you set your order right there, right here, top of the cloud. That's where you're going to buy. And then it's going to go on the next wave up after it, okay? So that's where you're going to look at. It will test the top and then move up more. Keep that in mind. That's what OIN I'm looking at right now. Let's look at a shorter time span to give more detail. No, I still think that it either breaks down here with the Tenkin and the Kijin both there, but Tenkin wants to go and TK cross on the 1 hour. It looks okay. It looks not too bad. Chiku span's nicely above the candlesticks as well. So OIN looks good. If you're in it already, good. If you're not in it right now, that's okay. Wait for that, what I just showed you, and you should be fine. Okay? Alrighty, let's see. Cool. What's your new end of year BTC price? Okay, so to give you guys a prediction on BTC, I can do that, but this is not financial advice, and you can't hold it to me if I'm wrong, because it's really hard to predict where Bitcoin goes by the end of the year. Now, let me give you, without all the noise on here, where I think it could go. Okay, so let me just shrink this down a bit and show you where we could be going. So let's go from the very bottom. This is called a fib extension. I'm going to go from the very bottom to the very top of the swing high, and I'm going to pull it back down here. Okay? Here's where we could be going. That 1414 is that, like, it's not, I don't know if it's going to be end of year, but that's where it's going to try and go to the 4414. And, it could, although it's not going to get to this anytime soon, guys. So don't get overhyped and stuff. We need retail to come back into the market. And if we do bounce off this 8,500 range, which is the 50% retrace of the whole entire movement from the bottom to the top, keep that in mind. It's fitting right on the Kijinsen. Think of that as well. Very important. If we're there, our next wave probably will take us to 1414, okay? Or the 1618. So I think maybe the end of year we would look around 20K. But don't be surprised if that's just another wave up. And I think that would start, let me just give you a better prediction, around October, November. I think we don't go, if we do, we'll bounce up and down in here for a little bit. And then once summer's done and people come back from vacation, we start seeing the next move up. I could see it get to 2618, to $31,000 by the end of the year. But don't quote me on it, because anything can happen, and this is predictionary, right? Like, this is not a guarantee, and these types of predictions generally don't go exactly as planned. So I'm just making that really, really well noted, that I think 20,000 is very realistic of an area to get to by the end of the year. But if we did somehow, for some reason, get retail back into the market, which I don't believe is there yet, it's very likely that we could test this 50% retrace area, and at that, the 80, I think I drew this a little bit off because I was looking too far away. Hold on. I'm just going to guess close enough, because it doesn't really matter that much. Okay. So 83, 8,500. I believe 85 was closer, but I'm just doing this quickly again. I believe that we will push towards this 1618 to 2618 area between 20 and 30,000 by the end of the year. If FOMO comes, we could go a lot higher, but I don't believe that we're there yet. We need to, just quote me on this, we need to cross the level of the psychological game, which is this level. Once we break this level right here, like, that's why I'm looking at the 618. If we break that level and we go above here, and we do hit that 1618, that's when FOMO will start. People will not buy in until we break an all-time high, because we have a lot of people that got wrecked pretty bad and they don't believe in the industry anymore, and they're waiting, or people who saw people get wrecked and don't want to get involved in the industry. So this is like my area of liquidity. It might pop up to that level and pop down first before going higher, but that's the aim where we see that FOMO rally start around that level above it. So that's 1618 is a really good area to look for. The best indicator to use on Cymex Exchanger. What's Cymex Exchanger? I don't use Cymex Exchanger. I don't even know what that is. Is that an indicator? I don't know, but I don't use that. I don't really need indicators. You shouldn't need that many of them, to be completely honest. What you really need, let's just strip it down to the real basics. Here's what you need when you're looking at a chart. This is it. I can even take this one off. All we need is volume and price action. That's it. That's all you should ever really need. Price action and volume. Sometimes it's to get confluence using a oscillator to see divergence. But when we see stuff like this, where the volume keeps going down on the daily, we usually see this happen as well, right? And when we see this start to go up and the price start to go down still, then we'll probably see a nice divergence from the bottom top. So when we see this one go up and then we see the other go down, that will be a good thing. But for right now, no. I don't think we're really going anywhere. We're following the head and shoulders down into that liquidity area over here. And that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. So Friday around this exact same time, about half an hour, 45 minutes from before this exact time, I'll be on again every Monday and Friday. Wednesday is just because I got a new camera and we had some technical issues on Monday. So that I'm very sorry for if you were watching. If you have any questions, guys, concerns, you know where to get me. Go into the YouTube channel, go on the link. You can join our Telegram group where I post these types of things early, and you get to see them before they actually happen. I posted this when it was over $10,000. It was $10,300 when I told people that it was a head and shoulders that possibly might happen, and it could save you some funds. I don't do this to make myself famous. I do it to help people not lose money and not get bearish about the whole industry as a whole because of it. So you guys have yourselves an awesome day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach K. Join us on Athena Education. Subscribe to the video if you haven't done it. Smash up some likes, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Deuces, everybody.